गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः श्रीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। Om. Dear friends, we are in this Viveka Chudamani. In the last class, we just completed the study of Vijnanamaya Kosha. We read this shloka, this is shloka number 208 as per the Srungeri edition and 206 as per the Ramakrishna Mission edition. Ato nayam paratma syad Vijnanamaya Shabdavak. So this Vijnanamaya Kosha, we have been analyzing all these koshas. Why? That is, in order to know what is the real self. So when we want to know the real self, so many people are coming in between and then saying, I am the self, I am the self. So we have to examine this fellow, whether he is the real boss, and then we have to send him away. Another fellow comes, we have to see whether he is the real boss and we have to send him away. So like that, all these koshas, they are presenting themselves before us. So we have dismissed all these koshas. The fourth kosha is this Vijnanamaya Kosha, probably the strongest kosha. So that is the reason why, because it is strongest because the ego, the I, the notion of I is so much attached to that. So that is the reason why we are not able to shake off our notion of I. The social, superimposition which has been done on us by the society, we are not able to shake it off. So that is what we have been talking about, and Shankaracharya devoted about 15 to 16 verses to discuss and dismiss this thing. So he gave the reasons. Then vikaritvat jadatvacha parichannatva hetutah. It is vikari because it is subject to janma, nasha, etc. Then jadatvacha, it is jada in the sense that it is insentient, it is not self-luminous, it cannot know things, it is only known. It falls under the category of drushyam and it is not the druk. Then parichanna, parichannatva hetutah. Parichanna means something which is delimited. It is delimited to this antahkarana only. It is not something which is this vijnana or whatever knowledge we are talking about. It is only antahkarana parichanna, not the knowledge which is the pure consciousness. Then drushyam is something which is jnana gocharam. Then again vyabhicharitvat. Vyabhichari means it is present at some time, not present at some other time. So that is what is the nature of this Vijnanamaya Kosha. So this sort of anitya thing, this sort of ephemeral thing or fleeting thing cannot be the Atman. So that is where we were in the last class. Now we are coming to the final sheath, that is the bliss, the sheath of bliss, that is Anandamaya Kosha, we say. Ananda is one stage where you forget yourself. When you are happy about something, you just happily, for a moment, at least for a few seconds or for a moment, you forget yourself. It is like you see a cat when it sips milk. If you have seen a cat sipping the milk, it closes its eyes and then very happily sips the milk. So it is in that Anandamaya Kosha. So when we eat something very, very, very delicious, and then you are very, in a very raving manner you are eating it, you are in that Anandamaya Kosha. You are not conscious of the surroundings, totally oblivious to the surroundings. We are happily, feeding on it, or eating it. So like that, this Anandamaya Kosha is something which is a reflection of the Ananda of the Supreme Brahman. So that is what Shankaracharya is going to say. Not Shankaracharya, the Upanishads are saying, and what Shankaracharya is explaining. So this is about this sloka. Next sloka we will read. Ananda pratibimba chumbita tanuru vruttistamo jrumbhita syadanandamaya priyadi gunakaha sveshtarthalabhodayah पुण्यस्यानुभवे विभाति कृतिनाम आनंदरूप स्वयं सर्वो नंदति यत्र साधु तनुभृन्मात्रः प्रयत्नं विना. So this shloka has packed so many points in this. So Shankaracharya, he writes certain dense poems here, quite often. So here he has packed so many points in this to describe what is this Anandamaya Kosha. And then he says, the very first statement is that it is not real Ananda, it is a reflection of Ananda. Ananda pratibimba chumbita tanuhu. So this body, tanu means a body. What is its body? The body is actually vruttihi. Tanuruvruttistamo jrumbhita vrutti. It is Ananda is a state of mind. First thing is Ananda is a state of mind. That is a vrutti, mental modification. And then it is tamo jrumbhita. It is something which has been activated by Jrumbhanam. You know that Jrumbhanam is a very beautiful word in Sanskrit. I could not find a very powerful equivalent in English. Something which is activated by, or something which is unleashed by, you can use that word also, Jrumbhanam. Tamo Jrumbhita, it is something which has been unleashed by Ajnana. Vruttihi tamo Jrumbhita, vruttihi is its nature. And then what is the nature? What is the nature of its body? What is the constituent? That is Ananda Pratibimba Chumbita Tanuhu. You know what is Chumbanam? Chumbanam means kissing. Actually, Chumbana actually kissing. It has the kiss of the reflection of bliss. So that is literally what it means. Chubi. It is a chubi. Vaktra Sanyoge. The dhatu is Chubi. Vaktra Sanyoge is the dhatu. Chumbanam. That is Vaktra Sanyoga means bringing the lips together. So that is what it is. So Ananda Pratibimba Chumbanam. So that is the reflection of Ananda, the reflection of bliss. He is kissing this. What? Kissing this body means it is just illumining this body, or it is say making this particular Anandamaya Kosha active. So it is actually activating the Anandamaya Kosha. So a reflection of the bliss, a reflection of bliss is actually activating the Anandamaya Kosha. So that is what the overall meaning is that. So this is the very Tanu means body. So that means this Anandamaya Kosha is something which is embodied by the reflection of what? Reflection of the bliss of Brahman. So it is such a complicated thing. This Anandamaya Kosha is something which is a vrutti. Its basic nature is it is a vrutti. It is a mental state. It is a mental modification. And then it is something which has been unleashed by, it has been activated by, released by this Tamo Guna. Because Tamo Guna is something which is predominantly there in that Anandamaya Kosha, where you are blissful to everything and then you are happy. So that is Tamo Jrumbhita. Then what is this Ananda? Real Ananda. Because Ananda is also, there is what is called Brahmananda. Brahmananda is not due to Tamo Guna. You see, Ananda, sensual pleasures, etc., where you are forgetting everything, that is the nature of this Tamo Jrumbhanam. Whereas Sattva Guna is also leading you to Ananda. Sattva Guna is leading you to Ananda through the process of Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, inquiry into the nature of self, and then realizing that this, and then expanding your ego, all these social, say, these attributes, etc., they are all slowly discarded. And then after that thing, the ego is, say, ego in the sense, the notion of I. The notion of I, it keeps on including more and more and more and more, it keeps on expanding the notion of I. So this there is a book called Vedanta Bodha by Akhandananda Saraswati. Akhandananda Saraswati, that book is almost like say a sort of compendium on the principles of Vedanta. Vedanta Bodha, it is in Hindi. So there the Swamiji describes. So he gives a very beautiful say explanation about this expansion of the notion of I. First of all, to start with, let us say, to start with, what is our notion of I? The notion of I is I am this body-mind complex, and then I am having this social status, etc., etc. So that is the notion of. Then slowly it is slightly expanded to your family. It is my family, my people, my thing. So then again, maybe in some cases, maybe it extends to your town. I am a Hyderabadi, I am so and so, I am so and so. Maybe in that manner. Or it may be, it is my caste, all Brahmins, we are all one. So that we say, all Brahmins are one. Then the next stage can be, okay, that means to that point your Atma, the notion of I has expanded. Then the next stage can be, okay, all Hindus are one. Somebody may say all Christians are one, or Muslims are one, or something like that. So that ego, it expands, or it includes all other people. It is becoming more and more inclusive. And then it is slightly more, at a higher level, all Indians are one. So something like that. All, when suppose you encounter somebody, an alien, then all say people, earthlings, let us say, all earthlings are one. So something like that, our ego goes on expanding. So that is one level. That is when you are not able to shake off the body-mind complex identity, etc., social identity, etc. So in the very first stage, all this social identity is ignored. Ignored means that is not the real self. Then what is done? Then you come to the kosha, Panchakosha Vichara. Panchakosha Vichara, you have analyzed Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, etc., etc. So all that thing goes. And then you are realizing ultimately that you are nothing but something which is, it is only a part of the macrocosm. You are part and parcel of the macrocosm, and you are a product of this, these 5 elements only. So, what is this? Prithvi, Apas, Tejo, Vayu, Akasha, etc., etc. You are only a product of that. So that is, your Sattvika Drushti has improved. So earlier that Tamoguna thing has gone. It is at the very initial stage that Tamoguna is discarded. And when you are doing this Atma Vichara, it is this Vichara is due to Sattvika Drushti. So only when a person has this Sattvika Drushti, then only this Jnana Nishtha comes, and then you start doing this inquiry into the nature of self. So Sattvika Drushti will lead you to the negation of these sheets one by one. And then you come to this Anandamaya Kosha, even this is understood and then even this is discarded. So that is leading to the real awareness of the self. So that is what we are going to see here. So here, Ananda Pratibimba Chumbita Tanuhu, this is the whole expression is, this is something with the body is something which is embodied by, instead of saying kiss, you can say touch. You can say a touch of the reflected bliss, let us say, touch of the reflected bliss. It is not the real bliss of Brahman. It is a sort of reflection on the Antahkarana. It is because of that reflection on the Antahkarana only you are able to enjoy a thing. Then that is Jrumbhita Tanu Vruttihi Tamo Jrumbhita Syad Anandamayaha. So that Vruttihi Anandamayaha Syat. So that is the sentence construction. That Vruttihi Anandamayaha Koshaha Syat. So that becomes the Anandamaya Kosha. So that is the construction. Then Priyadi Gunakaha. Then Priya Adi Gunakaha. That means it is having properties such as Priya. And there Chandrasekhara Bharati Swami has given a very elaborate commentary for this shloka. Beautiful commentary. And then this particular word, Priyadi Gunakaha, is referring to a line from Taittiriya Upanishad. Taittiriya Upanishad, when it is describing the Anandamaya Kosha, so there he says, Tasya Priyameva Shiraha, Modo Dakshinah Pakshaha, Pramoda Uttara Pakshaha, Ananda Atma. We read while we studied Taittiriya Upanishad. Ananda Atma Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. So that is what it says. So there, what is that? Priya, Moda, Pramoda. He uses 3 words. Priya, Moda, Pramoda. These 3 are used. What is this Priya? Priya means, as human beings, we have our own likes and dislikes. I want something very badly. Maybe it may be an object, or it may be a goal I want to achieve, or it may be something, some ego status or whatever it is, I want to achieve it. So that Priya is, when I see that, when it is close to you, you feel happy. Something which you like, you feel happy when you are, seeing it. Suppose it is made available to you. It is made available to you, and then that becomes, you are in possession of it. That becomes Moda. Priya, Moda. When we enjoy it also, when we enjoy it, then it becomes Pramoda. Anyway, some little bit of gradation they have made. So, Priyameva Siraha, Priyameva Siraha, Modo Dakshinah Pakshaha, Pramoda Uttara Pakshaha. What is this Uttara Paksha, Dakshina Paksha? The right wing, left wing, etc. Because this Taittiriya Upanishad, we know that this Tittiri Pakshi, in fact, that was supposed to have been picked up by the Tittiri Pakshi. We saw the background of that Taittiriya Upanishad. Tittiri is a bird. Maybe the Hindi word may be Titar. Titar may be the name. So this Titar Pakshi has picked up the knowledge, and then it has again given it to the world. So goes the story. So in that Taittiriya Upanishad, these koshas or sheets, they are also visualized in the form of a Pakshi. So this it is purely visualization. It is not as though it is in the shape of a bird or anything. It is a mere visualization. So for a bird, there is a head, there is a body, there is there is a wing, right wing, and there is a left wing, and then there is a pucham. Pucham means the tail. And for any bird, like for any aircraft, the tail is very important. Tail is very important to make it stable, and then that gives the support. So the tail is the say stabilizing factor, let us say, stabilizer, let us say. So that Pucham Pratishtha. So here for this, for every kosha it is described like that. For every kosha, what is the head, what is the right wing, what is the left wing, what is the body, and then what is the Pucham, etc., etc. So here for this Anandamaya kosha, Priyameva Shiraha, this Priya, something that is to start with. Then Modo Dakshina Pakshaha, Moda is like one wing, and Pramoda is like another wing. Ananda Atma, the very self, the body is Ananda. The very nature, the whole nature of the whole, that thing is Ananda. Then Pratishtha, what is the Pratishtha or what is the base? That is Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. For other koshas it is not Brahma. Of course, technically speaking, finally, in the final analysis, Brahma is the Pratishtha for everything. But Brahma Vijnanamaya kosha, etc., etc., Brahma was not given, was not called the Pucham. So here for this Anandamaya kosha, this is Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. So because this is the closest kosha to Brahman. It is, when compared to Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, etc., etc., this is the closest kosha to Brahman. So that is why Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. So that is why it is mentioned here, Priyadi Gunakaha. So it is having the properties such as Priya. So that means it is giving a reference to this Taittiriya Upanishad, what has been described in that Upanishad. Then Sveshtartha Labhodaya. He is explaining what is that. Swa Ishta Artha Labha Udaya. So that is the split. Swa for one's own. Ishta means something which is desired. Labha means attaining it. Udaya. Labha eva Udaya yasya saha. Labha eva Udaya yasya saha. That is that which is Sveshtartha Labha. That is the availability of an object, dear object, is the cause for you this Anandamaya kosha. The availability of a thing which is desired, of a desired thing, is the Udaya. It is the Janmasthanam. It is the origin. Udayaha Yasya means when you are talking about Bahurihi Samasa. Udaya means the place of origin for this Anandamaya kosha. That means, to cut it short, this is caused by attaining something which you desire. So that is in simple terms. Then Punyasya Anubhave Vibhati Krutinam. Krutinam means Kruti. Kruti means one who has done a karma is called a Kruti. Karma, karma is an activity. Kruti means somebody who has done that activity. So Krutinam is Shashti Bahuvachanam. For what type of karma? Not bad karma. It is some good karma. When you are enjoying something now, it is obviously, it is the result of a good karma, isn't it? If you are meeting a good person, it is also a punyam. Satam sadbhis sangaha kathamapi hi punyena bhavati, says Bhavabhuti. That is, Satam sadbhis sangaha. If you are meeting some good people, it is because of your punyam. It is an Uttar Ramacharita. Sadbhis sangaha kathamapi hi punyena bhavati. It happens only by your punya. It is only by punya that you come in contact with some good people. Otherwise, you will be in the company of some stupid fellows, wasting their time, playing cards or doing some nonsense. So, only in the company of good people, you may listen to some good things, you will know certain good things. So like that, whenever you have this ananda, maybe due to some object, or maybe you have achieved some goal, maybe you have, say, secured some job or something like that, maybe you have achieved some promotion, anything, whatever it is. Sveshtartha labhodayaha, ishtartha labha udayaha yasya saha. So that is the Vigraha Vakyam. Then Punyasya Anubhave Vibhati. And for Krutinam means Punyatmanam. That is for those who have done some good punyam. For them, Punyasya Anubhave Vibhati. It is whatever you experience is something like an experience, like experiencing that punyam. Then Anandarupa Swayam. Anandarupa Swayam Sarvo Nandati. Your book says Bhutva. Swayam Bhutva. It is only a Pathantaram, just textual variation. Nandati Yatra Sadhu. Sadhu means very well. Very well a person enjoys. Then what? Who is this person? Tanubhrunmatraha Prayatnam Vina. Even without any effort. Prayatnam Vina means you need not make any great effort for this Ananda. You desire something, you get something, you are happy. Who is this person? Not only human beings. We are not talking about in Vedanta. We remember that whenever we talk about a jivi, you are talking from starting from a mosquito or an ant to some dinosaur. Dinosaurs are not there. Okay, let us say elephant. So Tanubhrut, that means Tanubhrun Matraha. That word you see, Tanubhrun Matraha, a mere embodied being. Tanubhrut. Tanum bibhrati, that is tanu. Tanu is body. Tanum bibhrati, that is something is that which is having a body. So that is tanubhrut. So even a mosquito. So a mosquito, when it sucks your blood, it is in the Anandamaya kosha. Of course, when you flap and kill it, of course it goes to a different kosha. But when it sucks the blood, it is in Anandamaya kosha. So like that, and like when you are having a nice thing, and then ishtartha labha, that is when you have got something which you desire. So that is how tanubhrun matraha prayatnam vena. It is something which happens without any effort. So that is what it says. Then Anandamaya koshasya sushuptau spurtirutkata swapnajagarayor ishad ishta sandarshanadina. Anandamaya koshasya, this is simple shloka. So where is this Anandamaya kosha very well manifest? So during wakeful state, you see, during the wakeful state, what happens? Okay, you attain something very nice, and then you have a nice dinner, go to a hotel, have a nice dinner, you are in that Anandamaya kosha. And when at the time of paying the bill, that Anandamaya kosha goes, because suppose you are expecting some bill to be 500 rupees, the bill comes to 1000 rupees, then that Anandamaya kosha goes away. So Swapna Jagarayor Ishat, this during Swapna and also in the Jagrata Avastha, during the dream state and also in the Jagrata state, this is Ishat. Ishat means a little bit. Ishat is a little bit. Ishta Sandarshanadina, that is by seeing a thing, by getting by having a thing, or by enjoying a thing, by seeing a thing, by having a thing, by enjoying a thing. So 3 levels, Priya, Moda, Pramoda. So that happens during the wakeful state and in the dream state also. The dream state also, you may become a king, you may get something which you greatly desire. So that is again, that you are in the Anandamaya kosha. That again, it is disturbed by other vrittis. You see, Swapna, Jagrata Avastha, as I said, eating is one vritti. When you are eating, you are in that Anandamaya kosha, that vritti is there. Paying the bill is another vritti. There you have to take out and then pay the money. So that vritti has disturbed your Anandamaya kosha. So like that, during the wakeful state and the dream state, there is any number of vrittis. There is a pravaha, vritti pravaha, isn't it? There is a stream of all such states of mind. Whereas in Sushupti, there is no vritti pravaha. These things are they are withdrawn, isn't it? So in that Sushupti, you are happily there, and then that happiness is known after you wake up. So that Anandamaya kosha is said to be very active in the Sushupti. Why? Because it is not disturbed by any vritti. There is no vritti there, the mind has withdrawn. So that is what he says. Anandamaya koshasya sushuptau spurtihi utkata. Utkata means it is quite intense, it is quite, utkata means we can say high, quite intense. Then swapna jagarayoho ishat. During swapna and jagrata avastha, it is something which is very little. Then next, then with these 2 sentences only, 2 shlokas only, Shankaracharya is dismissing this, because it is not something which is a very strong opponent like Vijnanamaya kosha. So here it is very clear, he is very clearly saying this is the analysis of this Anandamaya kosha, because he has given all the details in the earlier shloka. So he says, Naivayam Anandamayah Paratma Sopadhikatvat Prakruter Vikarat Karyatva Hetos Sukurta Kriyaya Vikara Sanghata Samahitatvat. So, Naiva Ayam Anandamaya Paratma. Ayam Anandamaya Paratma Naiva. That is, this Anandamaya kosha cannot at any time be Paratma, that Supreme Atma. It can never be. Naiva, it can never be the Supreme Atma. Then Sopadhikatvat, because it is dependent on a Upadhi. And what is this Upadhi? Because you are getting something, Ishta Sandarshanadina, that is the Upadhi. There is a nimittam. Nimittam means there is a cause. You are getting something, you are happy. You are not getting something, you are not happy. So it is an upadhi. That is the upadhi there. Sopadhikatvat. Then prakruter vikarat. Prakriti here is the tamoguna. Prakriti is tamoguna, isn't it? Prakriti is manifest here as tamoguna. Sattva-rajas tamoguna. In that, this tamoguna is very much there. So it is only a modification of that tamoguna. It is only some sort of a particular frame or particular phase of that tamoguna. Then karyatva hetoho, because it is a karyam. It is something which is done by something else, isn't it? It is achieved by something else. It is achieved by getting an object, seeing an object, enjoying an object. So it is a karyam. It is something which is not something which is always your nature. It is coming and going. It is a karyam. Then sukrita kriyayaha. So karyam sukrita kriyayaha. Karyatva heto sukrita kriyayaha. Sukrita kriyayaha karyatva heto. Because it is the karyam of a punyam which you have done earlier. It is a karyam of a sukrutam, a punyam which you have done earlier. Then vikara sanghata samahitatvat. This is vikara. Vikara is the body mind complex. Vikara sanghata samahitatvat. Samahita means something which is associated with the body mind complex. It is something which is associated with the body mind complex. This is a vikara sanghata. Body mind complex is the vikara, isn't it? It is a sanghata. It is a sanghata, and the sanghata of so many say modifications, vikaras. So this is also associated with this particular say body mind complex. So that is the reason why this Anandamaya Kosha cannot be the Supreme Atman, because Supreme Atman is not something which is delimited. It is not something which is a karyam. It is not something which is saupadhikam. So it is all the things which are opposed to Brahman are mentioned here. All the things which are opposed to the nature of Brahman, they are mentioned as the reasons to say that this is not the Supreme Atman. Then now he says, Panchanam api koshanam nishedhe yuktita shrutehe tan nishedhavadhis sakshi bodharupo vashishyate. Panchanam api koshanam nishedhe. Nishedhe sati. Nishedhe krute sati. That is, when these when all these five koshas they get say negated, because this is not the real Atma, this is not the real Atma, that is what is Nishedha. Then how is this Nishedha? Yuktitaha Shrutehe. Shrutehe Yuktitaha. That is, there are two ways. That is, one by our own rational thinking. Yukti is rational thinking. And also this Shruti is also saying, Shruti is in accordance with rational thinking only. It is not opposed to rational thinking. Shruti also is saying the same, this is not the Supreme Atma. Yukti also says, because all the while the analysis of Shankaracharya of all these koshas, they are all based on logic only. They have all been in a very rational manner only. This is just now we saw karyatva heto, sopadhikatvat, prakrutehe vikarat, karyatva heto. All these things he is giving the reasons for this reason, this reason, this reason. This is not Atma. Similarly, the earlier koshas were also negated for this reason, for this reason, for this reason. It is not Atma. So like that, in a very mathematical way, he has analyzed and then negated them. So nishedhe yuktitaha shrutehe, by on the strength of Shruti and on the strength of logic, both ways. Then tan nishedhavatihi sakshi. Then that nishedha avadhihi. Avadhi means what? Avadhi means some boundary line. Tan nishedhavatihi, that which is say beyond the last boundary of such negation, let us say. Nishedha avadhi. That is the last boundary of such negation. Even this Anandamaya Kosha also is negated. So that is the last boundary of negation. Then what is that? Sakshi bodharupaha avashishyate. That is Sakshi. Now we are getting the word called Sakshi. Sakshi is what normally? Normally Sakshi is a witness. That is, suppose some two people are discussing something. Say, just this man he happens to see them. He sees those two people either discussing or friendly manner or amicable manner. He sees and then he observes them. So this is a Sakshi. That means this man has got some kartrutvam called seeing. This man is observing. So there is a duty called observing in this Sakshi. But we are not talking about Sakshi in this sense here. Sakshi here has no kartrutva. If it is having kartrutva, it becomes ego. Because kartrutva, where is the kartrutva? It is there in the level of ego only. We have to go beyond that kartrutva level. It is only when you go beyond that kartrutva level, the Sakshi is there. It is bodha rupaha. So it is of the nature of pure consciousness. So in that, it is only this, it is somewhat like the sun's light which is illumining all the things in the room. It is not actively doing anything. It is just illumining all these things, and in the presence of this light we are able to see, in the presence of this light we are able to transact business. So this Antahkarana is simply, it is like Antahkarana is only acting in the light of that Supreme Consciousness which is reflecting on that. So this Sakshi is of the nature of Bodha Rupaha. It is of the nature of pure consciousness, and that is what remains. When you negate all these things, what remains is that pure consciousness alone, and it is called Sakshi. And this is what we say. We talked about that Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. Brahma Pucham Pratishtha is Brahman, the consciousness which is called Brahman, is the substratum, that is the support for all these things. Particularly to start with, for this, that is the support. Then the avashishyate, in fact this is connected to the next shloka also. Bodha rupo avashishyate yoyamatma swayam jyotihi. That is avashishyate, yaha avashishyate ayamatma swayam jyotihi. So it connects like that. Yoyamatma swayam jyotihi panchakosha vilakshanaha अवस्थात्रय साक्षी सन् निर्विकारो निरंजनः सदानन्दस्य विज्ञेयः स्वात्मत्वेन विपश्चिता. Vipaschit. Who is Vipaschit? One who can analyze well. A good a person with analytical power. Vipaschita is Trutiya, by a person with good analytical thinking. So what will be recognized? This, whatever remains, is what is the real self. When you have negated everything, while analyzing your own real nature, you have negated all other things. What remains? Yaha ayam atma, which avasishyate, that is that which remains, that is that Swayam Jyotihi. For this word Swayam Jyoti also we have come across in the Upanishads earlier. Swayam Jyoti means, simply speaking, self-luminous, self-effulgent, etc., etc. What is that self-effulgent? That means there is no other knower apart from this. This is the knower of everything. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. That is, again to recall what we have been studying. So for example, an object is there, it shines after the indriyas. That is, shines after the indriyas means it is only when the indriyam is present that it is cognized. It is simply, in simple words, it is only when the eye is there, or the sense of touch is there, or when the sense of smell is there, only then this is cognized. So this shines after the indriya. And then indriyam alone is not enough. I am speaking to you now, I am not conscious of this at all, though it is right in my presence. So which means my mind also has to be present here. So the indriya, this object shines after the indriya shines after the mind. And then the mind shines after the buddhi. That is what we call the intellect. And that intellect again is a small fraction, is a vispulinga iva, that is of that cosmic intellect or cosmic mind. So that is, of that cosmic mind, we are anubhati. Tameva bhantam anubhati. So this buddhi shines after that cosmic mind. And that cosmic mind is again something which is a manifestation in that Supreme Brahman. So that Supreme Brahman is that is this Swayam Jyoti, which knows all. And then other things, they cannot objectify it, they cannot know it, they can be it. Suppose if I want to know Brahman as an object, I can't know. But you and I can be that Brahman. Realize that yes, our nature is this. So that is what we can do. So Swayam Yoyamatma Swayam Jyotihi Panchakosha Vilakshanaha. This is something which is distinct from. This word Vilakshana also we have to notice. Because we don't say Bhinnam. Vedanta, it doesn't say Bhinnam. Panchakosha Bhinnam we don't say. Bhinna means there you are accepting duality. There here Vilakshana means something which is unique. Vilakshana. Because this Panchakosha, what do we say? Panchakosha is a Maya Karyam. Sadasadbhyam anirvachaniyam. You can't say whether it exists, you can't say whether it doesn't exist, whether it is Sat or whether it is Asat, we are not able to say. So that is why we say that is what is called a manifestation. It is a mere phenomena, a manifestation. That is what we in Vedanta they call it Maya. So Panchakosha Vilakshanaha. Then Avasthatraya Sakshi San, that is by being the witness of all these three states. Witness again, we have to remember, it is not somebody who is seeing it. It is illumining. Sakshi San means it is by illumining the three avasthas, we can say. San, Nirvikaraha, it is illumining, but then it is untouched by them. It is unchanging, unaffected by them, Nirvikaraha. And then Niranjanaha, untouched by them. It is somewhat like the same. Sunlight is a classic example we saw in Kathopanishad, particularly in Kathopanishad. That shloka, that mantra is there. There is a mantra which says that about this, about the sunlight falling on all the things. Then Nirvikaro, Niranjanaha. Anjanam means something which is tainted. Niranjanam is something which is unaffected by anything, because it is of the nature of infinity. It is of the nature of being a knower. A knower, knowledge, is something which is not connected to a thing. Knowledge is something which is only knowing, but it is not physically connected, like an object. Only an avayavi can have a avayavi, means that which is having parts, that which is having limbs, can have contact with something else. So this infinite is something which cannot have contact with anything else. So this knowledge, which is reflecting in our antahkarana, is the same as the antahkarana which we call pure consciousness and also Brahman. It can't be different. So it is of the nature of infinite. Then sadanandasya vijñeya, and this is something which is always of the nature of ananda. Then swatmanyeva vipashyita, by this vipashyita, by this intelligent man, by this intelligent analytical person. So by such person, is there a single word for analytical person who analyzes well? Okay, by this person, swatmatvena sa vijñeya. Swatmatvena, that is this nature, that is his own self. So that whatever remains, what avashishyate, that is sadanandaha. That particular atma is your atma. You are not different from that. So that is what this shloka says. Then now the shishya has got a doubt. You are negating everything. When you are negating everything, maybe you may be leading to some situation where you say that everything is shunyam, that is emptiness, total emptiness, there is nothing. So reference to that shunyavada of Buddhists, let us say. By Buddhists again, all people are not shunyavadis. There are four schools of Buddhism we know. In that school, there is one particular vada, that Vijnanavada. That Vijnanavada is something, Kshanika Vijnanavada. The Vijnana is there, but again it is something which is momentary. And then say it is something, what all appears is something appearing from Asat. From Shunyam only all this thing is appearing. So that is what they say. And our reply to them is that when you are saying that there is Shunyam, who is the knower of that Shunyam or Abhava? When you are saying that there is total Abhava, who is the knower of that Abhava? So that knower of Abhava is something which is there, which exists. So that is what is the reply of Vedantins. Okay, in a very simple terms, because I have also not read Buddhism, unless we read Buddhism very seriously, and so we don't know the higher level arguments. So anyway, Shishya Uvacha Mityatvena Nishiddheshu Kosheshveteshu Panchasu Sarva Bhavam Vina Kinchin Napashyamyatra He Guru Vijñeyam Kimu Vastvasti Swatmanatma Vipashchita. Swatmanatra Vipashchita, your book says that, but this says Swatmanatma Vipashchita. Doesn't matter. Atma Vipashchita, Atra Vipashchita, doesn't matter. So Mityatvena Nishiddheshu Kosheshu Eteshu Panchasu Satsu. This is again Sati Saptami. When all these things have been negated as something which is a phenomena, Mityatvena, all this is a phenomena. We don't know whether it exists or not. So that is what it is, Mithya. Mityatvena, when they are Nishiddha, when they are negated as something which is Mithya, as a mere phenomena, as an appearance, all these koshas, eteshu koshe, panchasu kosheshu, nishiddheshu satsu. So when all these things are negated as something which is mithya, then I am not able to see anything apart from, say, sarvabhavam. Sarvabhavam vina, nakinchit pashyami he guru, oh my dear teacher, sarvabhavam. That is total shunyam. When you are negating everything, what else is remaining? There is shunyam. So that is what he says. Vijñeyam kimu vastvasti. Then what is there to know? When you are negating everything, including this Anandamaya Kosha, everything, then what is the Vijñeyam? Where is the Vijñeya? Then Vijñeyam kimu vastvasti swatmana means as one's own self. To say that I am this, what is there remaining to say that this is my real self? What is there which is remaining to say or to claim that this is my real self? Swatmana Atma Vipashchita, that is by somebody who is making some analysis about his own nature. What is there remaining to say that this is my real nature, this is my real self? So that is what he says. Then the teacher says, yes, you have made a good analysis, you have come to the right conclusion. Sri Guru Ruvacha Satyamuktam Tvaya Vidvan Nipunosi Vicharane Ahamadi vikaraste tadabhavo yamapyanu. Satyam uktam tvaya vidvan. Hey vidvan, oh my dear learned boy, tvaya satyam uktam. You have very clearly stated the truth. Nipunosi vicharane. You are very good in analysis. You are very good in vichara. Vichara means this enquiry. You are very good in this enquiry. Then ahamadi vikaraha te tadabhavo tada abhavaha ayamapyanu. So ahamadi vikaraste. What is it? Where is it? Tadabhavaha ayam. So this absence and non-existence of all the vikaras. Also ahamadi vikaraha te. So all these things which we have seen, ahamadi vikaraha, and also this abhava of all these things. So you are able to see. You see, ahamadi vikaraha, this vikaras such as aham, that is ego, that the vijnanamaya kosha, then ahamadi vikaraha, then tadabhavaha api, and even its absence, even its say abhava is the absence or non-existence, the non-existence of all these vikaras. I am api anu. So I and everything. So then, so let me see that book. What is the connection which he has stated? Tadabhavoyam apyanu Sri Guru Ruvacha. Oh, yeah, it is connected to the next line. It is connected to the next shloka. Sarve yenanu bhuyante yas svayam nanu bhuyate tam atmanam veditaram vidhi buddhya susushmaya. It is connected to that. So it says, Sarve yena anubhuyante. All these things, ahamadi vikaraha, because in this book he has split these two shlokas and then divided separately. So ahamadi vikaraha sarve yena anubhuyante. So all these vikaras, the one which is experiencing all these things, the one which is illumining all these things, yena anubhuyante, yaha swayam na anubhuyate, and that which cannot be objectified. Anubhuyate means that which cannot be objectified. Na anubhuyate, that is which cannot be objectified. All these things can be seen as drushyam, but that Atma cannot be seen as drushyam. Na anubhuyate, tam atmanam veditaram vidhi. So you know that tam atmanam, that is that Atma, vedita, veditaram vidhi. Vidhi means you know it as the knower. You know it as the knower of all these vikaras, ahamadi vikaraha, and also the abhava. It is the knower of the vikaras and also the abhava, also of the non-existence. So the Shishya was asking about the non-existence. I am not able to see anything apart from abhava, so total shunyam. So he says, this sarveyana anubhuyante, all these things are being experienced by somebody, and all this abhava also is being experienced by something. And who is that experiencer? And that is that Atma. Tam vidhi Atmanam Veditaram. You know that as the Atma, who is the knower. Which is the knower? Buddhya Susukshmaya, by your buddhi, by your sharp buddhi, by your sharp intellect. Sukshma is very subtle intellect. You realize it as the Sakshi. So that is what we have to see here is Atma is something which is not known as Aham Pratyaya. So Aham also is a Vikara. Ahamadi Vikara. Atma, one cannot say I have realized Atman. So when I say that I have realized Atman, keeping my I intact, I means keeping my sense of my notion of I intact, then obviously I am making a mistake. A totally wrong statement. So this I has to totally dissolve into that supreme consciousness. So that is only then somebody can say, okay, he has reached, he has realized it. So this is Aham Pratyaya, this is a Sakshi for Aham Pratyaya also, because it is the substratum for all the five koshas. So that is what we see here. Then, Tatsakshikam bhavet tattad yadyad yenanubhuyate kasyapyananubhutarthe sakshitvam nopayujyate. Then Tatsakshikam bhavet tattat tattad yadyad yenanubhuyate. So it is a typical Sanskrit idiom. Tattad yadyad. That is, whatever is seen by whomever. Tattad, whatever. Yadyad is whatever. Tattad yena anubhuyate. Whatever is seen by whomever. Then who is the Sakshi? The person who sees them is the Sakshi. Tatsakshikam. That is, Tatsakshikam means all that is having him as a witness. That is, whatever is seen by whomever, he becomes the Sakshi for that. That is, if you see something, in simple terms, you are the witness of whatever you see. Then kasyapi ananubhutarthe sakshitvam nopayujyate. Kasyapi ananubhutarthe. When there is something which is not experienced by anybody, then sakshitvam na upayujyate. Then you can't call it as sakshi. It is again connected to next line. It is again connected to the next shloka. Kasyapi ananubhutarthe sakshitvam na upayujyate means when there something is not at all experienced, then you can't call it sakshi. But here in this case, this sakshi or this atma is able to see all those things. See, in the sense, it is able to illumine all those things. Seeing means, again we have to remember that there is no active kartrutva. There is no activity called seeing by sakshi. So the next shloka is connected to this shloka. Asau svasakshiko bhavo. Asau svasakshikaha abhavah. Yata svena anubhuyate. Atah param swayam sakshat pratyagatma nachetaraha. So asau refers to this. Asau means this. Refers to what? Refers to that abhava. We are now talking about that abhava. So asau abhavaha swasakshikaha, having oneself as the witness, having oneself as the person who is aware of it. This abhava also is known to us only. Abhava is also known to me only. Swasakshikaha, that is having self as witness. So that is swasakshikaha. Yataha, because svena anubhuyate, it is realized by oneself. It is realized, experienced by oneself. Then atah param swayam sakshat pratyagatma. Pratyagatma is param. I am pratyagatma swayam, swayam pratyagatma sakshat param. Swayam pratyagatma sakshat param. That is, whatever is that innermost self is the supreme atman. That is the paramatma. Swayam, that is one's own self, is that sakshat paramatma. Nacha itaraha, not different from Brahma. Nacha itaraha means not different from the Brahman. That is, when you negate all these 5 sheets, it looks like abhava, but you are the knower of that abhava, and then that is the real nature. So I think we can stop here. There is another long shloka, Jagrat Swapna Sushupti Suspotataram Yosau Samujrumbhate, etc., etc. Again a very long shloka. We will stop here and continue in the next class. Harihi Om Tat Sat.